All right, everybody, we're back in the kitchen here now. So this is the turkey leg and the thigh from the bird I shot just the other day. You know, you'll see a lot of times on social media and different places, people say that the leg and thigh are inedible. Those people could be no further from the truth. It is actually very good. My family likes to eat the legs and thighs. It can be very tough if you don't take the proper care and preparation of it. You have to slow cook it. What we're going to do today is we're going to make some turkey dumplings with it. And what we're going to do first of all is I've broken it in half so that it fits in the Dutch oven correctly or properly. We're going to take it, I'm going to season it up. Got the Dutch oven warming over here. We're going to drizzle a little bit of oil in the bottom of the pan. We're going to brown this up, and then we're going to move on down the line and hit the next steps in the process. Okay, so the Dutch oven is warming up. I just checked it out over there. It's starting to come to temperature. It's probably not quite ready yet, but we're going to go ahead and season the meat up here. So I've just got a little bit of the Reload Rub seasoning here. This is actually the high caliber blend. You can do any kind of seasoning that you like. I mean, I talked to my uncle yesterday. They like putting tiger seasoning. My parents love tiger seasoning on about everything. But anything, whatever your favorite seasoning is. Some people just want salt and pepper. That's more along the lines of the wife. But this has salt, pepper, garlic. It already has a lot of that stuff already in it. So just going to hit that pretty liberally. You want this seasoning to go in with the char whenever we brown this up real quick and sear it in this Dutch oven. Okay, we're here at the Dutch oven now. So what we're going to do, use whatever oil you like. I mean, this is just cheap vegetable oil is all this is. I'm not really that concerned about it. Some people are going to want to use olive oil. Some are going to want probably to use some more specialty, whatever, exotic oil. By the time you take this and you dilute this down in a big pot of turkey and dumplings, the type of oil you used isn't really going to make that much of a difference by the time it's all said and done. So just put a little layer here in the bottom. See, it's starting to separate and go across there. It's warming up real quickly. I've seasoned this turkey up here. Let me get a pair of tongs here. Through the magic of video, I now have tongs, thanks to my daughter. So, alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to plop this in here, get a little sear action going on. Cover it just a little bit because it is going to spatter some. I'm going to let that sear real quick. We'll flip it. I'm going to season this side that's now face up. I'm going to flip that here in a minute, and then we'll go on through the next step. Alright, so we've been searing here for probably a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes now. I'm going to check it out. It smells really good. You can actually start smelling it. I've left the top just a little loose, so that way it, does escape. Some of the moisture can come out there pretty easily.
Yeah, it does smell really good.
Smells really good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip all this stuff over to try to finish getting the sear on the other side. I'm just trying to get just a little bit of caramelization on the skin here is really all I'm trying to do. I'm not really trying to cook the meat through. This is just kind of like, pre-slow cooking step. It adds a lot of extra flavor to the meat and to the overall dish whenever you do this. Whenever you put this char and this sear and caramelization on the outer layer of the meat. Okay, let that go for another minute and a half, 2 minutes maybe. We'll check it and see, and then we'll keep on going. Alright, so we've pretty much reached the end of our sear here. Oh man, it smells good. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to flip it one more time here just to double check. Oh yeah, that's good. That looks good. The leg is kind of difficult because of its shape. It's hard to get all sides seared, but we're doing the best we can with it. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add liquid to cover the meat, and then I'm going to turn it up to a boil, and we're going to get it started boiling, then I'm going to turn it back down to a low heat, and we're just going to let it sit here and slow cook for several hours. I think usually it's 9:30 in the morning right now. A lot of times we'll start this and we'll let it go for 4, 5, 5.5 hours, whatever. It all depends on, whether the meat's frozen, whether it's fresh, how long it takes to thaw, how long it takes to do all this. But we've got plenty of time today to let this just slow cook all day long, and then we'll show show you how to prepare the meat once you're finished with that slow cooking step later this afternoon. Okay, so my daughter got me some water here. I wasn't fully prepared for it, so she went and got some real quick. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to hit this with water to try to cover the meat. And then we're going to increase the temperature. There we go. All right. Put this back on. I'm going to leave it just off, just to leave a gap just a little bit, since we're going to bring it to boil. Let it come to a boil, and we're going to go reduce the heat, cover it up, seal it up nice and tight, and then just let it sit there and slow cook for hours. All right, so here it is. This has been cooking. We had a lot of time today because when we got started so early, we got started earlier than usual because the turkey wasn't frozen, it was all fresh. But this went for about 7 hours, maybe a little bit more, depending on, you know, how long I let it to start boiling, how long I waited for it to start boiling at the beginning and cool down and everything. But anyway, what happens is these legs and everything, they just fall apart. And all these spindles that are in there that a lot of people complain about, they just pull right out. So you just go through and you're just going to shred it by hand, and as you're doing it, you're just going to pull all these spindles right out. I mean, it's crazy. They slip right out. Same thing with the thigh. You've got your bones and everything in there. They just slip right out. So it's really easy. It's just a time-consuming process, but you know what? A lot of people take pride in standing over a smoker for 8, 10, 12 hours a day. I don't know why you can't take pride in slow cooking a turkey leg and thigh for 6 hours in a day. It's no different than standing over a smoker. Anyway, we'll get this taken apart and chopped up and get it ready to go in the dumpling bowl pot. A little bit more meat there. Okay, so we're done here shredding this. Wife is dropping the dumplings into the pot. What is that got in it? Just
It's the broth that we cooked the turkey in, and I just added a little water to make it enough liquid to cook the dumplings.
okay. So you heard that about the dumplings. Here's the big pile of meat. I mean, that is a big pile of meat coming off of one leg and one thigh. So whenever somebody says you don't get any meat off of legs and thighs, there's the proof that they are wrong. Here's the bones and the spindles. So these little spindle pieces here, little fibrous little items or pieces in the legs, they just pull right out. Just take them, you'll pitch them out, do whatever you're going to do with them, and then you got that big pile of meat that's left over, and it just pulled right off. We're just going to drop this in. How long are we going to cook it for?
The dumplings only cook about 10 minutes.
Okay, so she's going to make another batch of dumplings here, drop them in. We're going to take it to my family's and my parents' house and eat with them tonight. So anyway, that's it.
When the dumplings are done is when I just turn the pot off and stir the meat in to get warm again, and that's it.
Okay, so cook the dumplings, because the meat's already cooked. So cook the dumplings and then drop the meat in, and it's just going to meld all together there, and then you're ready to go. So we're going to have some green beans and some fried cornbread. What do they call them? Johnny cakes?
Johnny cakes.
Johnny cakes to go with it. So that's all there is to it. It's really not that hard. You can use this meat for, what do we use it for? We make sliders with it. We make turkey pot pie, turkey noodle soup. You can make tacos with it. You can, anything that you use like shredded chicken for, you can do the same thing with this. So next time you shoot a turkey, save those legs and thighs and give it a try. It just takes a little bit of time. Anyway, hope you enjoy. God bless.